and at least give them some perspective from a different, I don't know what they've done, read, or what their folks that are closer to them are telling them, but hopefully, if they're receiving good advice from those that they've care about, that are in their circle, hopefully this kind of just reinforces that, and
Yeah.
it kind of pushes them to act in a different way. And a lot of this is just growing up. You got to mature. You're going to have to probably burn down some great relationships in order to find the great one. Like for me, there's women that I've met that they met me too early. I was out of my mind. I was crazy. And it wasn't until now I that I'm older that not only do I appreciate women on another level, but the relationships I have are more stable just because I'm right. I'm better now. Like, not that I'm better now, but I grew up.
Yeah.
I had to
As
grow
well,
up.
that's what you were saying earlier, man. And I mean, not to belabor the point, I guess, but dude, I was single for most of my 20s, and I really had to get to a point. I went through, like you said, I went through some dark places as well, and it was all me. It was all me putting myself in those dark places, but I was blaming everybody else, man. Like and again, that is very much another topic, and maybe we'll get into that in episode 3. But yeah, until you learn to love yourself and you take personal responsibility, dude, you have no business trying to be intertwined with someone else's life.
Nor make it a munchkin, because them
Cool.
kids show up and they're just looking for a complete person, like a person who's already, they've healed themselves in whatever the way they needed to. They care about themselves. So now they can give, once again, all that love to that little person. And these kids are showing up, and you got people that are broken or, or just in a very poor state of mind. And that kid suffers because they're looking for one thing, but they're receiving another different kind of energy. And it sucks for them. And that was kind of one of the reasons, like, I remember my kid and her mother, when we split, it tore me apart. I didn't like that. However, it was better in my mind was that, you know what, at least when my daughter is with me, she's going to have a happy dad and not a miserable dad. I'd rather be apart and happy for my daughter's sake, as opposed to being in a relationship where nobody's happy, but in particular her
Yep.
father, me thinking on my, from my point of view, and I am basically present but absent, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I'd rather be absent but very present in my daughter's life in all the ways that are good, than be there and I'm just like this drone, miserable, barking at her mother because I got energy. I like to bark, so all these different things. I would rather her see that and that be her reality. So life gives you things and you have to figure it out, but it doesn't have to be some death sentence.
Yeah.
It's all about, how you interpret it and what truth, what wisdom can you extract from the negative? Because the negative is nothing but class. People look at it as like this bad thing. Oh, this happened to me. Okay, hold on a second. You're looking at it wrong. What are you supposed to learn from this? What are you supposed to gain from this? Why suffer for no reason? That's stupid. When you go to college and it sucks, you suffer, but you at least gain from it a piece of an education, a diploma, right? So same thing in this life. The education is the wisdom gained now. I had this experience. And the only reason why it was hard because you never had the experience. You had to figure it out. Once you figure it out, now it's easy. And I think that's part of, like, once again, the self-love. Once you know how to take care of yourself, and now you see the world just different. That's why I'm big on, people reading books. I was anti-book for like the longest. I read gaming magazines when I was a kid. However, I thought that from when I started reading, I started living other people's lives. And I started gaining all that information into this head. So now I'm starting to see all these different perspectives that I could not do in just my one lifetime. I gained all these other lifetimes in like a couple days. So now I'm looking at, okay, this guy's thoughts, this woman's thoughts, and I'm just like, and it's making my head just like boom, 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 boom. So now all that I'm getting the cliff notes to life. And if I can implement it and apply it, I just skipped ahead. You know what I mean? As opposed to folks that are waiting for life to keep dictating to them and them having to react. For me, I think that when you start reading about other people and the things that they've done or whatever the topic is, you have now, you've skipped, you're more proactive about your approach as opposed to being reactive.
You're also doing yourself a disservice if you don't. right? I mean, I had a friend of mine one time. He said, he goes, "Hey man," he was trying to make a similar point. He goes, if there was a book out there, and I could guarantee you, if you read that book, the book was called How to Make $1,000,000, and I could guarantee you that after you read that book, you would have all the knowledge you needed to go out and make $1,000,000. All you had to do was do it. Would you? And of course, I was like, yeah, of course, why not? Right? You know, and I have read some of those books. Okay. Implementation is easier said than done
Mm.
sometimes. But the point is, the knowledge is there.